me, Chris Callie. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the city of Rochester Hills, Michigan, and I'm going to do a little live with you sharing some products that are going to be retiring. Well, some of them are retiring and some of them are going to be staying in the new catalog. But let me just get you up here, make sure I'm in the right spot, and you can see that beautiful cover of our new catalog. Isn't that gorgeous? I'm so excited about a new catalog. I love new things, right? I got to purchase some things from this catalog, and we get to, if you are a demonstrator, you can begin to pre-order beginning April 2nd, and that's going to be a fun time. I'm excited about it. This catalog has a great layout to it that's new from any other catalog that we've had. And you can see from the cover of it that it depicts getting together and stamping with other people and sharing our passion for stamping and paper crafting. If you want one of these catalogs and you are a customer of mine, just drop me a comment, and when I get them in, I will make sure that you get one. If you have not purchased from me in the last 6 months, I will send you a catalog, but you will have to send me $5. And when I send your catalog, I will also send you a coupon for $5 off your first order from the new catalog, okay? So tonight, and this actually starts in May. If you're a customer, that's when you can start ordering from it. And tonight, I am going to be sharing some cards with you made from the Filled with Happiness stamp set. This stamp set is going to be retiring. So it's not going to be in our new catalog, but you can still order it. And I believe it's $20. It's very economical. And there are 7 stamps in it. And it does coordinate with the Modern Label Punch. The Modern Label Punch is going to be in the new catalog, but it will be $1 more. So all of the punches are going up in the new catalog. So if you want to get it and save some money, you want to get it before May 1st. And everything on our last chance list is going to be while supplies last. So you may want to get it in April when it goes on sale for the last chance list. Some of those items are going to be up to 60% off. So we're also going to be using the Lighter Than Air 6x6 Designer Series paper. This paper has a great combination of designs to it. I love those colors. They're kind of bright. Aren't they beautiful together? The blues and the yellows and the purples. And then these are the backs of them. You can see the clouds. Kind of like a little fish. Just really pretty. I like these two together too. And all of our papers coordinate with each other. Stampin' Up! Does that coordination thing extremely well. One of the new things that I'm going to be doing coming up is going to be a craft along where I will do a live, and if you order a kit, I will send the kit out to you ahead of time so that as I'm doing my live, you can craft right along with me. Hi Michelle, thanks for tuning in. I hope you guys are getting all ready for Easter over there. Or down there, I should say, right? So this is kind of a different little fun fold here. It's going to pop up like that. So that's going to be where you write your message, and it won't have it's just going to have a small card base to it. So when you order for your craft along, you're going to get cut pieces that will be put in an envelope like this, so that when we're crafting along, you just have to take those pieces out and stamp and assemble them with me. So we're going to go ahead and get started. This is a piece of Pool Party, and this one is 5 1/4 by 4, so it's the same size as a regular card base is. And then we have a piece of lemon lolly that's going to go on top of that. And this one is 5 3/8 by 4 1/8. And I'm just going to put it on with some regular Stampin' Seal. And when I have not embossed my cardstock, I don't think it's necessary to put it all the way around. I just put it on my 4 corners, and normally that's a good way to do it. We're going to use some of this striped paper in my sample. I used a kind of dotted paper, but we're going to go ahead and use the striped paper. And I actually forgot my twine, so hang on one second. And this is a 3-pack of twine that I believe is going to be carrying over into the new catalog. And you have that Calypso Coral, Lemon Lolly, and Balmy Blue. Absolutely beautiful colors. So I'm going to add some Lemon Lolly here. And I'm just going to cut 2 pieces big enough to fit around my Designer Series paper. And I'm just going to put it on the edges of my Designer Series paper, and that's going to help me to just kind of make my, excuse me, my twine last as long as it can. And I'm going to go ahead and put my Stampin' Seal all the way around this piece of Designer Series paper. And then I'm going to add these 2 pieces of twine right to the middle of my paper. And I'm just going to tuck them around the back and into my, excuse me, my Stampin' Seal. Then I'm going to add a little more Stampin' Seal right on top of my twine. And that's going to go right on top of my Lemon Lolly. Okay, and then I'm going to take my Lemon Lolly piece, and this piece is 3, I think by 8, and then I scored the 8-inch side at 4. So we're just going to fold and burnish on that score line. Okay, and again, I'm just going to put some Stampin' Seal on here, and I'm going to go all the way around with this because it is going to go right over top of our 2 pieces of twine, and I want to make sure I have a nice good hold to it. And it's going to go right on top. So you can see this is just a really quick kind of fun fold. And then I am going to actually stamp on my Designer Series paper. And this is like a really good kind of light paper that's easy to stamp on. So I'm going to stamp in Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And because it's a bigger stamp, I'm going to leave my photopolymer face up. And I'm just going to get a good ink on that. And I'm going to put it right in the center there. There we go. I'm going to set that aside, and then I have punched out a modern label or modern oval punch, and I'm going to stamp again in the Memento Black ink right in the middle of it. And the photopolymer is really easy to line up because you can see right through it. There we go. And then I'm going to use my blends to color it. And I'm going to use some lemon lolly. I'm going to start off with some dark Pool Party. And that's what I'm going to make my leaves. That Pool Party is kind of like the color of the ocean. It's a little bit green and crystal clear. But I think in this case, because we're going to use it with that lemon lolly, that it will give it even more of a green look. There we go. And I almost always use the nib tip of my blends when I color, and save the brush tip for when I'm like gonna be flicking something, adding color that way. Then I'm gonna come in and I have my dark Bubble Bath. This is one of my favorite new colors. They did all those new colors with the catalog last year, that color refresh. And this was one of my very favorites. It's just kind of a soft baby pink. Okay, and then for my lemons, I'm going to come in with my my light Daffodil Delight, and then I'm going to use my light Lemon Lolly with it. Okay, so I'm just going to come in and do kind of like a little half circle with my Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to kind of put it where they have the little shading dots. Michelle, I hope it's nice and sunny down there. I'm looking forward to the end of next month. I get to come for a visit. We're actually going to be leaving from Palm Beach to go on the incentive trip. So I'm coming in with my light Lemon Lolly and kind of coloring the rest. Don't want to forget that little top part there. And you can blend as much color as you like to get it darker. Just keep going over it. And I think that's kind of good. So then I'm going to come in and I'm going to actually take my color lifter and just kind of put it in a few spots. And that will just kind of give it kind of a whiter look that will kind of draw the attention to it a little bit more. So you can see it has kind of that little white space in there. Okay. I'm actually going to tape this down. And again, I'm just going to use my Stampin' Seal right in the corners for this one. There we go. I'm just going to kind of center that on there. And I'm going to put my my punched piece on using some dimensionals. And we have lots of choices for dimensionals. So there are lots of ways to add texture to what you're doing. You can use regular Stampin' Dimensionals like these. You can use the mini Stampin' Dimensionals like these. We have adhesive sheets, and they are this size. They're foam adhesive sheets. And then we also have adhesive strips. So they're the long, skinny strips. So all kinds of ways to add some dimension. And then we also have dimensionals that are regular dimensionals like these, only they are black. So that's good when you're using a dark cardstock. Now this is going to go right, hopefully in the center of this. There we go. And then we're going to add some of these foil gems. These are called iridescent foil gems, and they kind of go with everything. They come in two sizes. So you have kind of a medium size and then a smaller size. So I'm going to use the two small sizes. I'm going to get my little take your pick tool out. And I'm going to put them right over those black dots on either side of my popped up image. There we go. And then I'm going to take my twine and I'm just going to kind of double it up and snip it off, and I'm going to make a little bow. I do bunny ear bows. I cut mine too short to do that, so let's see if I can do it this way. Here we go. And I'm just going to trim these up. And I'm going to put this on over here with a glue dot. And then we're going to be done. We actually, this time around, we had two kind of different card folds. There we go. So there is your first card. And we have it with the striped pattern here. And then this one we did with the dot pattern, and we used the coral ribbon instead of the lemon lolly ribbon or twine for our bow. So you have two kind of different looks, one with the stripes and one with the dots. Both very fun. And like I said, that DSP coordinates with every DSP in the packet. So that's kind of a good thing. And here we have a little thick whisper white. And we have, there we go. Trying to keep myself organized here as we go along, so I don't lose anything, because then you'll be waiting for me to find it. So we have a piece of thick basic white, 5.5 by 8.5. The 8.5-inch side is scored at 4 1/4. I'm just going to fold and burnish on that score line. And then this is cut at 5.5 by 4 1/4. And I've embossed it with the cross hatch embossing folder. This is a part of a 3-pack of embossing folders that is an online exclusive. If you guys haven't checked out the online exclusives yet, you should. They're actually very, very good. Hi, Angie. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a great Easter planned too. They are things that you can only get online. You can't see them in any of our catalogs. So it's always good to be able to check back online and see what's new there. Actually, some things out of our old catalog that aren't coming into our new catalog will be on our online exclusives also. So that's always a good place to check out. Now I am going all the way around with my adhesive on this piece of paper because it is embossed. So I want to be sure I get sticky adhesive in all of the little nooks and crannies that we have going on. Okay, and then I'm going to come in. This is a smaller piece of Balmy Blue, and I'm going to pop it up, and I'm going to actually, because it is a rectangle and I do want to get everything supported, I'm going to come in with my adhesive strips. I'm going to put some of those on the back here. I don't like to cut that with my new scissors. Because I don't want to get them sticky, so I'm going to use a pair of these old grungy ones here. Put that in the middle, and what I do is I just take and peel the entire strip off. And you don't have to make sure you're going edge to edge with it. Every inch doesn't have to be covered because it will hold it up. So I'm just going to leave it like that. Peel the back off. I do hope you guys have lots of fun Easter plans. We actually were going to go out to dinner with my son and daughter-in-law, and my son got sick. So we had to kind of postpone our plans until next week. So that's kind of what we'll be doing. Okay, let's stamp our sentiments. And I'm going to stamp my words. Actually, I think I'll stamp my, just a note. In fresh freesia. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp it again on my second piece. And I'm not so worried if I've got it in the middle or not in the middle, because I'm going to cut those words out and kind of pop them up on there. So I have that one that's going to go, and then I have this one, and I'm just going to trim right under the line of the stamped image. So you can see my stamped image. I'm just going to cut that part off and then flip it around and do the same on the other side. And I am just going to, I think, use some regular dimensionals on each end of this one. And you really can pick any kind of dimensional that you want, depending on how much lift you want to give it, what size the area is that you're going to put it in. And I'm just going to put it right over top of our stamped image. And you want to be sure that you get it on there straight. And it's going to line right up. And it really is much easier than I'm making it look, okay? So that's how you're going to do that, and just kind of pop it up. We're going to set that aside for right now. And then I have some pieces of Designer Series paper that I've cut. We're going to put on the front of it. And again, I'm just going to use a little bit of adhesive in the corners. And this is going to have that little it's a 1/4 of an inch all the way around it. And you can flip your papers like this if you wanted to. However you want to put your paper on there is entirely up to you. And whichever side you want to use. Like I said, it all matches, so it's all going to coordinate. Don't have to worry about that. That little yellow piece, I think, is just so much fun. Okay, and then I am going to put this up on some dimensionals. And again, I'm going to go in and just put a little strip on each side. And I'm going to take the rest of this strip and just set it back on there. And we're going to pop this up. And right in the middle. And again, I'm going to come in with these little, I'm going to use the smaller ones. And I'm going to put them right on that kind of dot that's there. So I am going to just kind of push it up under there, under my words that I put up on the dimensional just a little bit. So you can see they're just kind of underneath that word a tiny bit. And then I'm going to come in, and I think I'm going to take a piece of yellow twine and a piece of the blue just for fun. Let's see what those two look like together, okay? It's kind of hard this time of year with things retiring to be able to pick some things out to show you and remember what's going to be in the catalog and what's not going to be in the new catalog. So sometimes with two colors, it's easier to tie your bow this way than it is to do bunny ears. Oh, I think that's kind of pretty, don't you guys? I kind of like those two colors together like that. I'm gonna have to remember that because this ribbon is going to be carried over into, or this twine is going to be carried over into the new catalog. So let's trim those ends. And we're going to put this one on with a little glue dot. So you can see, if you're going to be participating in the craft along, that a lot of the work is done ahead of time, so that we can just kind of assemble. I can share a few tricks with you, and we can get 3 cards done in a short amount of time. So you don't have to spend all day there, right? Okay, so this one is just, we've used the same papers, and I just added the yellow ribbon combined with the blue ribbon here, and we stamped our sentiment in the same color as our oval. Okay, and this one is going to be with the perennial postage dies, which are going to carry over into the new catalog. The stamp set is not going to carry over, but the dies will. And that's okay because they'll coordinate with lots of different things. As you can see, I used them here and didn't use any stamp from that set. So, okay, so I cut some of the flowered paper to use this with, and this is Pool Party. It is 5.5 by 8.5, scored on the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. I'm just going to fold and burnish it on that score line. And this one, we're going to take a minute before we put this down, because we're actually going to take our twine and put it through here. And I'm going to use some of this. For my sample, I used the, looks like I used the Lemon Lolly. But for this one, this one actually comes in like I think there's 5 packs of twine in here. It's called the Baker's Twine Essentials pack. And I use this a lot. So I'm just going to cut 2 pieces. There's like black and white and crumb cake. Lots of different colors in this one. So I am going to feed my 2 pieces. I think I want it to go like this. So I'm going to feed my 2 pieces of twine behind here. There we go. So we're going to go behind this side and then come up on this side. Some of this is kind of awkward to do while I'm trying to hold it up. So it's going to look like this, okay? And then this piece is going to go flat on here, okay? So I'm going to take my Stampin' Seal. I'm going to put it in my 4 corners, and then I'm going to put it right on the back of where this twine is. So it'll kind of hold that twine in place. Wow, this is really not cooperating. Oh, it's getting towards the end. There we go. I think that will work. And then I'm going to put this down. Let's get rid of this for a minute. I'll put this down in the center there. Get it nice and straight. There we go. And then we're going to put this piece down. So we're going to be sure that we get our twine on there before we tape our paper down. Okay? And I'm just going to add that to the center. Whoops. I'm going to actually tuck that twine in. So it's going to go behind my card. I almost put that on there without just letting it flop around, right? That would not have been good. Okay. So let's get you guys back there. And again, I'm going to put some Stampin' Seal right on top of it so it doesn't pull out from the edges. And there we go, right on top of our card. And I forgot to stamp on here to begin with. So let's see how it's going to work, okay? We'll stamp on it while it's taped down there. And again, this piece is really a big piece, so I am adding my ink while it's face up. And if you're doing this at home, you definitely want to stamp this piece before you tape it on there. But let's just see if I can do it. Oh, there we go. It worked. And then I have my little modern label punch already punched out. And I'm going to just stamp that inside on there. And again, with this photopolymer, you can see right through your stamp, so you know exactly where you're going to stamp. Now, you don't have to do this extra piece here, because you can just color the piece that you stamped on here, and that works perfectly fine. And again, I'm going to color my leaves in the dark Pool Party. And we'll start with those. This is going to be like the bluebird of happiness, wishing you a happy birthday. Whoops! I'm just coloring right in the front of my card, and what I want to do is color on this piece. But you can easily color on the front of your card as you saw, and it would be just as pretty as coloring on this piece and popping it up. And I always try and leave a little bit of white space so your eye kind of knows where to go with the little white space there. And not a lot. And then I'm just going to bring in my bubble bath and color my little berries with it. And then I'm going to make the bottom of my bird the Azure Afternoon. And this is going to give a lot of contrast between the bottom and the top of my bird. Okay. And then for the top, it's going to be a dark balmy blue. I got a little glue dot on my blend, so my finger's kind of sticking to it. Let's see if we can get it off there. It's little things like that that I think, how did that happen? But it's all good. We got it off there. And I'm just going to come in and color my bird. And these are two really different shades of blue, but I really kind of like them together on this card. I'm going to add a little bit of shading down there and on the back of his wings. Let's kind of add just a touch more color. Here we go. And now we're going to put this up with dimensionals. And we're going to put it right over top of our other stamped image there. So it's going to go right over top of that one, which is just kind of a good guide to help you get it right in the center. I got mine crooked. I must be the crooked gal tonight. Let's see if I can get that up. There we go. There. And I'm just going to come in and take a little piece of this. When I leave it on there like that, I can do my little bunny ears. Still on the spool and only with a big part of a big piece of twine, I can get my ears going. There we go. And we'll pull those tails a little bit. I got a card kit for my friend Arlena today. She was doing a little fundraiser, and I ordered a card kit, and I cannot wait to use it. It uses a pet stamp set from our online exclusives that is just a really fun stamp set with dogs and cats, and I think there's like an owl in it. It's just a really fun one, but the fun for me is that somebody else has done all the work. It's all prepped and there's directions, and I saw her put them together on a live that she did, so it's like a little fun time for me where I don't have to do any work or think about it. I can just sit and relax and enjoy a little card kit. Here we go. So we have flowers here, and we have the dots here, and then with the dots we have the yellow. Oh, we forgot our jewels. So I think I'm going to add just some small ones on here, and I might go like right there, and get that one all flipped over here, and I'm going to go big with this one next to it. Okay. I'm going to go right there. Okay. So there's our little jewels on this one. Fun. Okay, we have one more, and then you guys can get back to your Thursday night festivities, okay? So this one, we've kind of cut our paper a different way. So we started off with our fresh freesia, 8.5 by 5.5, scored on the 8.5 inch side at 4 1/4. We're just gonna fold and burnish on that score line. And then we have lots of pieces to this one. I'm gonna go ahead and stamp my image on here. We're gonna use that same happy birthday image. I don't know about you guys, but I love to color. So this is like the perfect image for me. I can color the birds, I can color the lemons. I love this stamp set. I'm kind of sad to see it go. But in this one, we're not going to color anything. I have taken a piece of lemon lolly and punched it with the Modern Label punch, and then used that crosshatch embossing folder to emboss it. And I'm going to put this one up on dimensionals. Oh no, I'm not. I'm going to put it right down on top of there. There we go. And then I have this piece of paper, which is 4 by 5 1/4. And I am going to pop this one up on some dimensionals. I'm actually going to come in with my strips and just put a few pieces of that on there to lift it up. And we need one more piece for the top. And I really, if you have scissors that you're cutting with, I would use a different pair of snips to cut your dimensionals with, just because they are going to get sticky. I'm going to put this right on the front of my card. I have a feeling that, there we go. Okay, so now I have a piece of paper that was 5 1/4 by 4, and I cut it in half diagonally. So it's 5 1/4 by 4, and I cut it in half diagonally. Okay, and I'm gonna put these two pieces here and here. Now what I did was I used the other pieces, and they're on this card. So you can see I used that piece, and this piece fits right up next to it. Okay, so this piece of dotted paper was 5 1/2 by 4 1/4, and I just cut them diagonally. And now we're just going to stick those down with some adhesive. And it's a really fun card to make, and it looks a little more complicated than it really is. So we kind of put these down with that little, just a little border at the edge. And I'm not going to stick it down really hard till I get this one on, and I make sure they're both kind of where I want them to be. There we go. And I'm going to kind of push them down. And then I have this piece of fresh freesia, and I'm going to put this right on top of it. Okay. And this is going to go in the center of our card. There is, this paper is part of a suite called the Hot Air Balloon Suite. And the suite is going to be in the new catalog, but this paper is not going to be. Let's see, I'm going to cut one of these balloons out and just kind of pop it up on top of, I think I'll do this fresh freesia. The stamp set has dies that coordinate with these hot air balloons, which are really cool. And you can stamp it and cut it out with the die, or you can just use the die to cut the images from this pack of DSP. I love it when their dies coordinate with the designer series paper. It just gives you kind of one more added piece to coordinate with all of the rest of them. So, and it's an, even if you don't have the dies, you can see it's a really quick and easy cut. I know sometimes it drives people crazy to watch me cut because I am left-handed, but I don't mind cutting at all. So if you're like my mother was and you can't stand to watch me cut or be in the kitchen with a knife, by all means, you can look away. It's just going to take a second. And she did, by the way, get used to it. So we could be in the kitchen when I was an adult. So that was a good thing. There we go. Okay, and I'm going to pop this up on some dimensionals. I don't want to put everything on my card up on dimensionals. I just kind of want to pick specific things, because if I get everything on my card popped up, I'm not going to be able to mail it. So I'm just going to pop that up kind of like right there. Oh yeah, you can still see everything. And I'm going to do two, oops. I'm going to go a big one there and a little one next to it, and then go with a little one down here. And I don't know, I did a little, I did a bow on this one, but I think I'm going to do it without a bow because I put my little sparkly down here. So it's just kind of the opposite. And we picked a different balloon for this one. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. I hope you like these cards. And again, don't forget, if you need a catalog, leave me a comment below. And I can't order them until April, so we'll be getting them in. Oops, Cindy's laying on the couch with an ice pack. I hope you're feeling better, Cindy, and up on your feet pretty soon. And I will get catalogs out towards the end of April for you. So thanks for tuning in, you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.